All right, so here we go. We are back at it. It was a few weeks off for me for vacation and we had an amazing time. I was off social media altogether. I didn't hardly touch my phone. I didn't hardly post anything. And I had a great time really being present with my family. So today we are going to go back old school and do some favorites from the month. I figured we're at that weird transition point, right? Where we're getting into warmer weather, but we're not quite there all the time yet, especially here in New England. And I recently actually did a whole video just transition outfits that I use for spring. And to be honest, they're pretty much what I've been sticking with. Some form of t-shirt, some form of blazer, sweater, something like that. Jeans, leggings, like all those types of things seem to be in my rotation right now because I need layers. So that video is the closest thing I can come to my transitions. However, I'm not quite ready to get into videos about my spring wardrobe yet because I don't know where you guys live. Let me know if you want to start seeing those. Maybe my thought process of what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and make it 90% of items that I already currently have in my own wardrobe. If you are new around here, within the last year, I've kind of gone to this whole capsule wardrobe thing. I did a winter, I think I started with fall, then I went to winter, and now we're into spring. And I've really been enjoying it. I will say the first one, the fall capsule one, was a lot of new items from Nordstrom anniversary sale, which I'm kind of trying to take a different approach to that this year and decide how I want to shop that sale because I haven't been buying as many new things. I'll buy something that fits in a hole or an item that I'm missing, but I'm not just buying to buy as much anymore for a couple reasons. One, as I've hit my 50s, I'm definitely at the highest weight I've been, and I'm struggling with that a little bit. But I also have kind of come to the realization that I've been trying to not as much wear what is in style, but I'm trying to actually wear out or make use of the items that I already own. I don't need different camel colored blazers or 4 different white sweaters. I will say this, white is my one exception, like white t-shirts, white sweaters, things like that, because they look dingy a little bit quicker. However, and so that might come into play for spring. However, I am really just trying to love what I already have and create looks with that. So I'm trying to do 90% of the items that I already own coming up for my spring capsule wardrobe. So I haven't even started to consider that. So I really kind of have to take a look at that. Back when I did my clean out, I did a jean clean out and I think it was like all different things. I did all my bags, shoes, but the jeans were the one that really hit me of, why do I keep buying more jeans? I think I have every style minus the new, like that barrel cut, which I know does not work on my body. I have every style I could need. So do I really need to keep buying more and more jeans every season? Probably not, because I tend to go back to some certain ones that I use year after year. And there is one of my favorites today that I'm going to talk to you guys about. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the 5 items that I am loving right now, really making use of, and really just glad that I own. Now, the first thing, you might hear it down here, it has some ice in it. You guys have all seen, heard about, whatever, Stanleys, right? I've got the Stanley, the big 40-ounce one that fits in your cup holder. I use it when I'm around the house, when I'm taking a road trip, things like that. It's great. But my biggest problem with it is, as an example, when we recently went on our trip to Aruba, is that I can't just throw it in my bag. I have to hold on to it because it will spill. And my friend Kristen Game, who used to be here on YouTube, she's not as much anymore, more on Instagram now, she talked about this, and it's from Brewmate. I remember Brewmate from back in the day, like before Stanley was popular. And this is something called their RA Tumbler. And again, it's the same size as that Stanley. You either love that or you hate that. But here's the key. It actually has an area here that turns on the top and locks and opens. So you can drink through it when it's open. And when it isn't, you legitimately, it's not gonna leak in your bag. They have coffee tumblers with this technology now, everything. And I love it. And I took it on my trip. I have thrown it in my bag. We had days where we were on excursions. We were out in UTVs one day. We were out on a pirate ship one day. We were out on an island one day. And every single day I could just throw this in my bag, filled it up with whatever I wanted before I left the hotel. And I knew it would be fine in my bag. Now, here's a couple key things that I want to mention about this. One thing I do like about Stanley more than this is I like the lip, because when I did carry it, I liked kind of resting my thumb on the lip. I know it's silly. The other thing with this one is this straw is more bendy. You're either going to love that or hate that. But the straw is also in the middle. At the beginning, I didn't like that because I was used to the Stanley one being over to the side, but it's perfectly fine. This is completely dishwasher safe. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It is a metal straw. You can see the liquid coming out of it here. This little piece right here that you're seeing, this little plastic piece here, is actually the part of this that twists that lock open and close. It is genius. I love, love, love this. So another reason I'm super excited about this is in the summertime, I had a, oh gosh, who made those? Hydro Flask is what I typically use in my beach bag because it's one that the straw like collapses down into it. But I think it's only like 28 ounces. And when I'm at the beach all day, I like to just have my water in here. Sometimes I stick an electrolyte thing in here. Sometimes I just use plain water. Sometimes I add some flavors to it. But I want it to be filled all the way up. And I want the ice. This ice is from yesterday, guys. Hey, here's real life, right? This is from yesterday. I filled it up. I let it sit out overnight. All I do is I make sure I lock it at night and I finish up whatever I had in here the next morning. It works out great. So I'm very excited for this for summertime because I can just throw it in my beach bag, be ready and go. Next up is an item that I talked about in those beauty transition kind of ideas for springtime is this product here. I've used a lot of different self-tanners, guys, and this one is so good. It's from Loving Tan. It's the 2-Hour Express is my go-to one. This is the one that I personally prefer. I do have it in the smaller one is the color medium, which is what I use now. And then the larger one is in the color dark. They do have an ultra dark. I find with my skin tone, I am paler. I do have more of a pinky, peachy undertone to my skin. This brand works the best for me. Saint Tropez looks very kind of green, olivey tone. And as that one fades on me, a lot of times, like their true self-tanner, a lot of times that one fades on me a little orange. This does not do that. This one is a mess because I took it with me on vacation. So as it was traveling back, it got like stuff all on the inside of the cap. But this is just absolutely great. I always put this on with these little mitts that I get from Amazon. I use it once, throw it in the laundry. It is good to go. But I do not use these on my face. This is just my own personal opinion. I've done all these different things, and I find for some reason that when I use a self-tanner on my face, also keep in mind I'm exfoliating my face more. I'm using retinols and retin-A's. It just fades very blotchy, so I would rather add things in, which are in that video if you're interested, to make my face look better and to match my neck and chest and areas of my body rather than using a self-tanner. But that's just personal choice. You can do whatever works for you. Since we're talking about skincare, I'm gonna talk about an item that I found, I wanna say a couple months ago. It was probably January, I think, when I first had heard about it. And it's from a brand, I've never heard of them, Shani Darden, Shanidarden, and it is the triple acid signature peel, resurface, brighten, and refine your skin. So this is a box that comes like this, and I had gotten this from Sephora, I think it was. Might have been Nordstrom. I think it's Sephora. No, it's Sephora. It's Sephora. So it comes in this box. Why is it not opening? There we go. And it actually comes like this, and you can see there is a brush here, there is a tube here, and then underneath here, there are all these little, look like this. They are just little packets, and I have used a good amount of them. How many do I have left in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left in here. I would say I've used 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I probably use it every 2 to 3 weeks, and this is the best at-home peel I have ever used. Now, please keep in mind, my skin is not sensitive. I have super, super crazy, crazy tolerant skin that is not sensitive at all. So keep that in mind before you try this if you have sensitive skin. So what you do is you actually take the little package, this one here, and you open this up and you take the brush, and you're going to take that brush and you're going to kind of paint this all over your face. It says to leave it on for 1 to 2 minutes. I read reviews that said to leave it on for 3 minutes and you get better results if your skin will tolerate it, which the first time I tried 2 minutes, the second time I did 3 minutes, I've done 3 minutes since then. It has a slight tingle, but not much as far as this. But you let that sit on for the 2 to 3 minutes. Then you use this, it's kind of like a clay mask. You take it on your fingers and you rub it in and it bubbles up and foams up. Now this is the part that tingles, but it's quick. As soon as it bubbles, as soon as the bubbles are done, it's not tingly, if that makes sense. And I think you leave this on, I have to check every time before I use it, for like 10, might be 15 minutes. And then you rinse it all off. Oh my gosh, I cannot say enough good things about this. It is crazy good. I remember like the second time I had used it, and as I mentioned, I try to use it every other week, but it's usually closer to every third week because I forget, I'm human. And I remember I was using it, and I think Marty was away or at dinner or something, and he came home and he goes, and he came home and he was like, aren't you going to wash your face? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, are you going to wash your makeup off? And I was like, I don't have any makeup on. And he's like, your skin looks awesome. That is always a telltale sign. When someone who sees you every single day is like, wow, no joke, it is that good. So with that being said, I do have a good amount left in here. However, when Sephora had their, what was that sale? Their spring sale, their VIB sale, I don't know, whatever the recent sale was, I did pick up a backup of it. This one is going to go with me for the summer. I'll keep this one here. It is so amazing. It is not cheap. It's $100 and something. I think it's $125, but you get, does it say how many are in here? It doesn't say how many are in here. When I open this one up, I'll try and keep you guys posted over on Instagram. It's so good, guys. If you have never tried a chemical peel, another key part with this, by the way, is with these, your skin's not gonna peel like a chemical peel at a med spa. You're not gonna have flaking, any of that. It just really brightens, resurfaces. It kind of just gets rid of the surface cell, dead skin cells. So good. Next on to an item that I got last year, probably around this time. I wanna feel like it was around springtime. And if you are like me, and grew up during the time of 7 jeans. You remember when 7 jeans first came out. They were probably my, personally, first pair of like expensive jeans, right? That was like my first pair. From what I remember, understand, I think the people that owned it separated, broke apart, divided. I don't really know the exacts of it, but 7, written out, spelled out, S-E-V-E-N, and then the number 7 is a jean company now as well. And they are more on the less expensive side, typically under the $100 price point. And I had gotten this pair last year, and I'll put the name down below, but it's basically, I did size down as well to a size 8. It is basically a pair of jeans that are a straight leg jean that comes to you cuffed, okay? So this is what it looks like. Let me see if I can show you. There you go. It's cuffed at the bottom, and yet it is not a sewn up cuff. I was like, oh gosh, is it gonna roll down? Is it gonna have issues? Once I wash them, is it gonna be hard to get them to roll back up to the same spot? It isn't. I wore these so much last year, and they are great right now because they are a transition, because to be honest, a lot of mornings I start with them down. Midday, I kind of cuff them up. By the end of the day, I have them back down. And so I have it in a darker pair that just has a very, very slight distressing. I actually recently did a whole reel showing these and how I'm able to roll them up and down. And I wear them a lot with just a sweatshirt and a pair of flats or a pair of sneakers. The lighter color pair does have more distressing to them. No distressing on the back of either of them. And as I mentioned, the dark blue ones only have that one little spot right there, whereas these ones have an area at the knee and then an area over to the side as well. But these jeans are super comfortable. They're very versatile. They are a slim straight, so they're not going to be like the Not Your Daughter's jeans that are a much wider or traditional straight leg jean. This is more of a slim straight, which for my body type works really, really great. It's also great if you are in transitioning between a skinny jean to a straight jean. This is a great option. You can roll them up. It is just so nice. I absolutely love these. I've been wearing these nonstop. So both of these will be coming with me into my spring capsule wardrobe because they are a great transition piece. I do personally love distressed denim and I love a lighter denim. It is a personal choice, but I do love also having the option of a darker pair if I want or need them for anything. So these are an amazing option. Remember to size down in these, and it's just a great deal for under $100. As I mentioned, I think they were $79. However, I have seen them go on sale as well, so I will link that down below if you're interested in checking them out. All right, the last option is kind of down here. I'm gonna pick it up like this. You're like, what in God's name? This is new Luggage, and this is from a brand called Level 8 that I recently found. These, we loved them for traveling. They have 4 wheels. They roll super, super easily. They are so lightweight, but yet they still have that hard outside shell, which I love. My key things with Luggage are I now like the harder bags on the outside because things don't get damaged and as many issues. And then I want one that has a set of 4 wheels that just roll super smooth, super easy. We got the set that was the 3, so the much larger bag, and then a smaller one that's a step up from a carry-on, but not too overwhelmingly huge. I use that one, and then we also have the smaller one, which we use for MJ's stuff. However, I'm finding now that he is like to here on me, his clothes are pretty much the same size as mine, so we might need to give him a bigger suitcase. But this one is the one that I will be using this summer when we have a couple of trips coming up. This one is just great for carrying on. It fits the right amount of stuff. I absolutely love these. I am going to do a video next week more specifically about my travel, my packing, and some tips and tricks that I have been using myself personally. I recently did a video about our trip to Las Vegas. If you're interested in seeing there, I talk about my liquids and some of the things I did for a short trip. However, since we went to Aruba, we were there for 10 days. A little bit more information, how I packed for that trip. I technically could have probably done a carry-on with a duffel bag, but we were checking because we didn't want to have to trek all of that through the airport for our trip. So I carried on a tote bag and we checked all the rest of the bags, which was great. Just my Lily and Bean tote, which is a great, easy one for when I'm traveling. Plus it doubles as a beach bag when we were taking trips. But this Luggage is so nice, so good. I will say the other thing when we checked our bags, the thing that made it easy to find, the yellow on the wheels here made it pretty easy to find, and you knew that it was yours because there was no mistaking something like that. But these bags worked out great. I absolutely loved them, and I'm very glad because the last time I got a new set, full set of Luggage, I want to say I was in my early 20s, and if I remember correctly, it was from BJ's, and it was a full set, and I think the brand was Pierre Cardin, if that gives you any idea. And I still have some of those pieces. However, they have 2 wheels, they're soft-sided, they're clunky, they're a pain in the butt. I wanted new Luggage, and this just worked out great. So I hope you enjoyed this video showing you my 5 items that I am loving right now. And as I mentioned earlier, if you would like to start seeing some videos on my spring capsule wardrobe, please let me know down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this and have a great weekend.